Ladies and gentlemen, what's going on, family and friends? Thank you guys for watching. Once again, this is Jonathan Mathis, the sports judge. Welcome to my sports video. Welcome to my channel if you're watching this on YouTube. And last night, there was a fiery exchange in Philadelphia inside the Phillies clubhouse. Most of you guys, if you guys follow baseball like I do, most of you guys have seen the video by now. And Nick Castellanos, I mean, it's bad enough that this is a guy who's having a horrific year, right? He's not seeing the ball well. He's late on his swings. He's missing his fastballs. He's chasing things out of the strike zone. I mean, it's been a miserable year for Nick Castellanos. And when you have a reporter approaching you and asking you dumb questions, because that's how a lot of people see it as a dumb question, it just pisses you off even more, So I understand the frustration that Nick Castellanos is exhibiting. I get that, it's not his year so far. It's been a down year for him. And, the guy that asked the question is Jim Salisbury. Now, Jim Salisbury, I've read some of his stuff over at NBC Sports Philadelphia. Does tremendous work. The guy's an excellent journalist, man. He's a great columnist. He's a NBC Sports Philadelphia insider, so he covers all the home teams in Philly. He covers teams like the Sixers, the Philadelphia Phillies, and the Philadelphia Eagles. So he is well known, inside that Phillies clubhouse, inside the Eagles locker room, and inside the Sixers locker room as well. So, these athletes, they know who he is, and he has built relationships with people over the years. But Nick Castellanos had a fiery exchange with the reporter after a loss to the Chicago Cubs on Saturday night. And you're already pissed off about the loss. The season is not going well, at least not in your favor, and you're not playing by your standards. So Castellanos, man, he doesn't want to hear a question about being booed. That's something he doesn't want to hear about. Maybe you rephrase the question. Maybe you ask a different question. Maybe you ask, what does he need to do? What do you need to do better? How can you come out of this offensive funk? Is there a way you could adjust your swing to be more productive in the lineup? Questions of that nature, those type of questions would make a lot more sense, But Castellanos hasn't had a hit all series long against the Cubs. This is a guy who signed on to a 5-year, $100 million contract with Philadelphia back in March and has struggled ever since. We're talking about a man who is good at putting the ball in play, who, when he's really on his game, he's underrated. He doesn't get as much love as some of the other players around Major League Baseball. We know that about Nick Castellanos. Nick Castellanos is one of my favorite players. He's a double hitting machine. The guy loves to hit doubles. He could spray the ball pretty much to all fields, when he finds himself. And this happens to all great players. Great players go through slumps. They go through massive slumps, and great players find a way to bounce back from adversity. Nick Castellanos is not going to be like this forever. There's going to come a time where he's able to put together some hits, but, things got confrontational when Castellanos replied sarcastically. He said he lost his hearing, that he can't hear the boos. Of course he can hear the boos. Okay, look, Philly is known for booing athletes that underperform. Of course he can hear the boos. Hell, anybody can hear the boos. You get booed everywhere you play. Even on your home field, you get booed on the road as well. So, duh, he hears the boos. So, I mean, come on, man. Was it a clown question? Maybe it was a clown question, but this is not the first time we heard a clown question in baseball. Bryce Harper was confronted by a reporter who asked him a clown question. So, these journalists, they ask questions to hear the athlete's reaction, but sometimes these questions lead to other questions. And there was definitely another question to follow, but what I like about the whole thing is how Nick Castellanos handled himself. He didn't really uh, get angry. He was calm the whole time, it seems, even though the exchange, seemed a bit confrontational. Even though it was an exchange that was awkward and weird, Nick Castellanos kind of kept his cool the entire time. It was the reporter, Jim Salisbury, and this is no disrespect to Jim Salisbury. It was Jim Salisbury who kind of escalated the situation while Nick Castellanos was just standing in his place near his locker, trying to stay calm the whole time. You know, doing everything he can to, just maintain his composure and not get so pissed off where he felt he really had to retaliate or get in the reporter's face. You didn't see any of that, but the reporter, he was the one kind of instigating the whole situation. He escalated it while Nick Castellanos was just standing there de-escalating the whole situation, not willing to really, go back and forth with him. He answered the question the best he could possibly, respond to the question, because how do you answer that question? After a reporter asks you, do you hear the boos? How do you respond to a question like that? I'm not sure what I would have said if that was me being asked that question. I would have probably said, next question, man, come on, you got to ask me a question better than that. And I mean, I know that to me, I don't want to say it was a dumb question, but I will say it was a lazy question. I think dumb is the wrong word to use. I think in context, it was more of a lazy question. Like the reporter, Jim Salisbury, and this is no attack on Jim Salisbury. This is no disrespect to Jim Salisbury. But Jim Salisbury could have asked the question more professionally. He probably could have, asked a different question. Obviously. But yeah, that was a lazy question. That wasn't the best question. And players are gonna have run-ins with journalists. That's just how it's gonna be. It's been like that for years. It's gonna be like that. I've seen some videos far worse. You've seen it. You've seen professional athletes bump heads with journalists in the clubhouse, in the locker room. It happens. Maybe it was something the journalist wrote that the player didn't like, or maybe it was something the journalist said during the interview, or something like that, and it pissed the player off, and he comes back at him. He retaliates when he sees him in person. It's a lot of things, Maybe these guys have a history. Maybe Jim Salisbury said something to Nick Castellanos in the past, and Nick Castellanos doesn't feel comfortable answering any of his questions. I don't know. I really don't know what it is, but that was a lazy question, not so much a dumb question. And Nick Castellanos, answered the question the best he possibly could, I mean, it is what it is. It happens. That's sports. But thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. Before I go, I just want to say, if you're watching this on Facebook, please share this video. Share it with as many people as you can. And if you're watching this video on Facebook, do me a huge favor and subscribe to my channel. Subscribe. Hit the subscribe button. It's real simple. All you gotta do is hit the button, and you would be subscribed to my channel. I mean, I can't possibly annoy you that much. I'm passionate about sports. And would you want a passionate person to entertain you and talk to you about sports? You don't want a person that's, well, Nick Castellanos got into a confrontation with Jim Salisbury, and Jim Salisbury, asked him a question that was fairly dumb, but in reality it was really a lazy question. You see how dry that is? You want someone that's fired up, that brings the energy all the time. And that's what I do. I bring the energy, folks. But anyway, I'm about to get out of here. You guys enjoy your day, the rest of your Monday. There's some baseball tonight. I know the Braves start a series against the Phillies. We'll see what would happen after that game, how Nick Castellanos is approached by journalists after that game. And then the Dodgers, if you're here on the West Coast where I'm at, the Dodgers will play the Nationals tonight. But I'll see you guys later. You guys take care. I'm out. Peace.